Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well. Welcome into this preview of the week coming up. It is going to be a big one. It's going to be the biggest week I would say so far of 2025 for the stock market. We do start to enter the peak season of Q4 earnings season, which will be good. Also, what will be key about this earnings season is that obviously we close off that kind of 2024 with the Q4s coming in, but also we'll start to see a few guidances as well, and it'd be interesting to see what are a few of these businesses are thinking going forward. Is it going to be a good year, bad year? It'd be interesting to see all the thoughts there, and particularly as well where they see like things like interest rate cuts, inflation going as well. They'll kind of give you thoughts on where they see it going, because obviously they'll be able to see it somewhat in their numbers as well. No intro on the whiteboard today. Thought I'd still get stuck into the video. But little shout out. On the weekend, I did do an exclusive video on the Patreon, which was a stock request into grab. So what we do in the Patreon on the stock request is members of the Discord vote for me to take a look at a stock. The winner was grab, and I did my thoughts on it on the Patreon for you guys. So if you're on the Patreon, go check it out. If you do want to see it, you could pay for the Patreon video on its own, which is £3.50, or you could sign up monthly and get all the exclusive videos that month, which there's 2 a week, live buy and sell alerts, and it's all for £6 a month, which isn't that bad. Or you can pay annually, which works out as £5.10 a month, which is not too bad at all when you consider the content you get out on there. But if whatever you do, thanks for supporting the YouTube channel. And if you do want to start investing, links in the description. You can join in too and get a free fractional share worth up to £100. Let's get started on to this busy week coming up. So, SoFi is the first big one coming up. By the time you guys see this video, the numbers of SoFi will be out. So, it's always a little bit tricky when I record the video and you guys know the results here. I'll kind of give you my thoughts, and then you can either laugh at me and go, well, that was totally wrong, or you can look and go, actually, that was a pretty good guess. So, SoFi is typically quite volatile on the day they report earnings. Sometimes the stock goes up a lot, sometimes the stock goes down a lot. It can be somewhere up to a 10% movement each time. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I've seen them, SoFi, whatever happens, normally bring out good results. I've only ever seen them do triple beats. So EPS beat, revenue beat, and the hike up the guidance. That's all I've ever seen them do. That's what I will expect them to do. If they haven't done that, oh my days, what has happened? So that's what I'd expect them to do. Where the share price goes could be anywhere. I've seen them bring out good results and it gets the share price reflection that it should. I've seen them bring out good results, and the share price has gone down off it. I don't know, but I will say it probably will be volatile. If it's not volatile, I'm surprised. But obviously, the big thing is that we have been on a good run up, so there might be some sort of form of excuse to try to take some profit taken on here. You know, we are up 135% in the last year. I'm personally up 160% on this position. It's one of my, really good performing stocks out there. The numbers look easy enough for them to beat, so I'd be surprised if they were to, miss the numbers. Year ago, EPS was 0.04. It's exactly the same right now, even with a good, strong Q4 last year. Revenue growth of 14%. I would expect them to beat that, especially because the whole year they've kind of been in the 20% range. I'd expect them to be a lot higher than that. So if they are missing them, I would be really surprised. I would expect them to probably come in with an EPS beat and revenue beat. So I'll be shocked if they don't. Obviously, if they give some numbers on next year numbers, that'll be good. 18% revenue growth expected next year, and a good jump in the EPS. We'll see what happens there. That's the only thing that I don't know where that's probably the unknown, where I don't know where they'll guide for going forward. Obviously, Antinoto likes to be cautious. He was very cautious last year, and it paid off for them. So we'll see. Whatever they do, I'm sure they'll do a little bit of sandbagging in. Difference is that it is 61 forward times earnings, so this is not a cheap stock anymore. Previously, the stock was a cheap stock. 61 times earnings, I think, is about fair. So if the stock was to sell off earnings, I won't be too surprised, because maybe it would be a good time for SoFi to have a little bit of a break, I think, at 61 forward times earnings, especially with the numbers they're currently doing. So yeah, we'll see what happens. It's been a fantastic year, but certainly this is not the, this is nearly an $18 stock now. It's not the stock that it was when it was, $6-7. When the stock was 20 times forward earnings, it was just absolutely mental. Right now, the stock is fairly valued. So for me, I I have no idea where the share price reaction will be, but I would expect strong financials, and that will be the best thing for it. Moving on to the next couple of stocks anyway. Not really anything I'm interested on the rest of the Monday. Tuesday, Boeing. I mean, we'll see if it's another car crash. I could have said something else there. A car crash of an earnings report. I mean, they're just a mess, aren't they? If they didn't have a duopoly, I think they would have been gone by now. GM, Royal Caribbean, maybe see what's going on with the cruise kind of side of it. RTX. Nothing else I'm interested really there. After the close, not something major really. Logitech, Lending Club, that's normally quite a volatile one, I believe. Starbucks, I mean, we'll see if the new CEO has steadied the ship a little bit, because it's been rocky over there, but one that I owned for a brief time, made a quick amount of profit from it. If it gets the right value, I won't mind getting back in, but it's that value is a lot lower from where the current share price is. On the Wednesday morning, we've got ASML. Some of you guys like ASML, I know. On the Wednesday, very interesting day, probably the big day of this week. We got Tesla reporting. I mean, that stock's had a cracking year. In the last 6 months, up 84%. In the last year, up 121%. And I have no idea why. There's been a lot of hope, and this is what we might do in a few years' time thrown out there. But financially, this has been a terrible performing company. We look at the current year, average EPS is $2.48. If I go back to a year ago, this year they were expected to do $3.25. And, they're going to close this year off at $2.48. This is, the EPS is over 30% lower than where they should be at, which is just terrible. If you were to say that, oh, by the way, the profit this year has gone down on the stock by 30%. What do you think the share price has done? Well, you'd probably be looking at the share price going, yeah, you know what, 30%, maybe because of the fear of it going down as much as that, maybe even 50%. You'd probably guess, I would say, a stock going down at least 30%, wouldn't you? And the stock's up 121%. It doesn't make sense. Imagine saying that, it went from trading at a multiple of earnings of like 50 times earnings, and then it went to a multiple of 111 times earnings, even though the profit missed by expectations from the start of the year by 30%. It's absolutely bonkers. Sales growth was expected to be 18% in 2024. It is now going to be 2%. It just doesn't make sense. I know you say, but you're investing for the potential of some of these stories of this technology coming out, and go, okay, there's an element of that, but we surely can't be talking a 500 billion market cap increase. Like, how much is that priced in, and they haven't even generated any revenue from this? It's one of the most ridiculously valued stocks I think I've seen, and they better pull something good out on their earnings report, because surely that's going to have a pullback. I don't know. Meta's reporting. Meta has some tricky numbers. I mean, great year. Once again, great stock for me. I'm up over like 300% and like 200% on the other position. So it's been a really good performer for me. They'll have to, there's some, that EPS is a really good ramp up there. 17% sales growth. I guess ultimately though, it's currently trading at 25 forward times earnings. Look at these numbers compared to Tesla's, and this is 25 forward times earnings. I think the valuation is still pretty good, but tough numbers to beat. We'll see how they do with that one. But I think it's probably just a forever hold stock for me, really, overall. Microsoft reporting, same again, a stock that I own in my portfolio, up over 300%. We'll see what's going on with Microsoft. Thursday, UPS, they've been sinking down a lot at the moment. Good insight into how the economy is doing. MasterCard are reporting before Visa. I think normally Visa goes before MasterCard, but not this time. I'm sure Visa normally goes on a Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm not sure if I'm making that up. On the close, Apple, once again, I would say probably an incredibly overvalued company in my opinion, but we'll see what happens. Intel, Visa are reporting. I own that one as well. Atlassian, Deckers, a few people interested in that, and a few stocks on the Friday. I'm sure we normally have, normally the DraftKings comes this week, but maybe they're a week behind this time. One thing on the US market that I own that's not on here but is reporting is Evo. Evolution will be reporting on Thursday as well. Interesting to see what's going on there. Numbers that are expected is a nice little jump in the EPS from $1.31 to $1.37. Sales growth of 12.7%. We'll see what the guide for next year. I mean, obviously they're going to report on Thursday. I mean, this is going to, once again, we got the last report, and in the last report I was kind of thinking the stock's fallen massively during that time frame, like 25%. I thought there's going to be something in this earnings report that spooks the market. And then the earnings report came out and it was fantastic. And the stock was up 15% on the day. And then over the next few days, it just gave it all back. And it's gone lower and even lower. So same again, I mean, I'm looking at the earnings report. I'm expecting something scary to come out in this earnings report. And if it doesn't, I'll be once again looking at the stock and going, well, why have we sold off that much since the last earnings report, but yet the financials keep going up in the right direction? It could be one of those cases where we're like, this company, it's at 13 times earnings. It'll be, what will we close at? Yeah, you will be getting towards what? Closing at 11 times forward PE, is it? Yeah, 11 times forward PE. We'd be looking at this, if there's nothing scary in that earnings report, and I'm not talking like a 1-2% miss on EPS or revenue, I'm talking like fraud allegations. If there's not that on the earnings report, I'm generally going to be looking like this stock should be like 50 to 100% higher than where it is right now, and that's without even factoring any future growth in. So we'll see what happens. Actually, that's the one I'm most nervous about, because I'm hoping nothing scary comes. I can only justify Evolution being this low at the moment because something scary is going to come out, and it just doesn't keep coming out, and yet the financials keep. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. And on the UK markets, this little calendar is from Investment Bites, by the way. Go give them a follow if you want the UK calendar. Mind on the Monday, I'll take a look at them, guys. One stock I've never owned, but if it got to the right value, maybe, and if the numbers were improving a little bit. Tuesday, AJ Bar, S3, they came out with a big profit warning last time. We've got Pets at Home reporting as well, which we'll see what's going on there. I think last time they reported the veterinary service was doing very well, but the retail wasn't, which is good because the veterinary service is the most I'm bothered about, because obviously I've got my CVS group as well. Wednesday, we've got AJ Bell, WH Smith, that's always interesting. On the Thursday, we've got Wizz Air, BT, Air South Africa, which is an interesting one. The stock's been rolling up a little bit recently. I can see why. It's down to 11 times forward earnings. The currency impact is going out. If they are going to get rid of this currency impact, they start pushing up the revenue, profit starts coming back, yeah, it should do really well. I mean, obviously something that is kind of getting priced in at the moment. And I guess the point for me would come, when do I kind of, maybe rebalance this position? Because as we've seen, the FX fluctuations on this can be absolutely mental. So it's kind of point of view is like, okay, I'm back up on this position, a good amount. Do I kind of walk away from it now after all the last few years of the turbulence with the FX impact? Or do I kind of sit back now and go, I hope there's no more FX impacts and the revenue and profit continues to grow and I do really well from this? And then as well as that, Rank Group's an interesting one out there on the UK markets. And I just had to double check because I did think they were reporting, because when I saw Pets at Home, yes, CVS, even though it's not on here, it must have been missed. CVS Group are reporting, and they're going to also report on the Thursday as well. But I'll probably be staring at them Evolution numbers before I look at CVS Group. But we'll see what goes on with their update as well, which will be interesting. And there's been a bit of a bowl shape recovery, as in the words of Courtney Rebel there, starting to come in on that one recently, and that's been doing quite well over the last few days. So see if that kind of continues upwards. So yeah, that's the video for today, guys. Hope you're ready for the week ahead. It is going to be a busy one. I'm sure we'll be making some videos on some of these companies that do report earnings. Best of luck. See you in a bit.